Stuck inside? Frustrated at not being able to watch live international hockey? We completely get that, and that's why we at Great Britain Hockey are bringing you a second episode of Inside the Circle.
Okay. See the ball. Where's the ball?
Does tea taste better when made by yourself or made by someone else?
Got into Lego again.
Certainly an amazing time. And
I had a neighbour who I often do some shopping for that put like Prosecco, wine.
I think it's generally better made by myself. Spent a lot of time finding quite amazing walks actually all over Buckinghamshire and Oxfordshire.
in like Batman, when you punch someone, it'll pow. Yeah, next.
One of the sort of favourite moments that we get to do as a hockey player is play at home in front of a home crowd.
She's really helped me become me again. Yeah, I imagine probably all coaches who ask this question may say the same thing, and that is, oh brilliant, another year of preparation really.
Busy second, where did that go? Did that go in? And it didn't record.
Thank you!
We have got another action-packed show coming your way today, including the second part of our exclusive Cuppa and Anatta with Emily DeFrond and Nick Pink. As well as this, we also have a fascinating interview with Mark Hager, and Susanna Townsend takes on the blindfolded penalty stroke challenge. Make sure that you're showing and sharing with us how you're interacting with hockey's in-house weekend by uploading your photos and using the hashtags at the bottom of your screen now. Unfortunately, once again, we cannot bring you any live international hockey action today, but we do have something for you in the form of the highlights of when our women took on the Netherlands in the FIH Hockey Pro League 2 weeks ago.
The Netherlands against Great Britain is underway here from the Wagner Stadium in Amsterdam. And here is Van Geffen. That looked like the back of the sticks, the way that ball bounced, but here's an opportunity, and Great Britain have been completely carved open. Up to Sabi Hees now, but she's made a mess of that. And the goal has been given. There is goal number 400. I thought that was a back sticks by Van Geffen out of defence, but it hasn't been called, and it is the Dutch that get the early lead. All over the top from Luddink, brought down by Van Geffen, and they could be in trouble here, Great Britain, because the Dutch are in round the back, and it's been put wide by Hager for Town. Velton on the reverse. No, she'll get it strong. Velton just wouldn't get out from underneath her stick. Shot right across the face of goal. Hesh somehow keeps it out. How about that for a save from Sabi Hees?
Wow, that is an amazing reaction save. I think it came off Anna Toman as well.
It wasn't as if it was a flat reverse stick either, was it? But the danger is still there across the face of goal. Good save. Toman on the left-hand castle. Goes to Ballston, and now we do see the switch. A good save by Veenendaal, still there. Jones, can she get the shot away? Jones. Toman cuts inside. Remember, Great Britain, a player to the good. After Capelle was shown a yellow card. Ball across, good save, Veenendaal, and there's the equaliser. And it's Hunter, is it? Who's got the goal? Joe Hunter scores the goal that brings Great Britain level. Haven't seen much of Sarah Evans, have we? Since she went off. Here is Owsley. Owsley along the goal line, an opportunity. Penalty corner. There's a penalty corner coming. It was a play to nothing for Lily Owsley because Jonas van Teck had given the penalty corner before she went on the run. On the right hand, Castle. On to Toman. Toman. Good number one running by Van Geffen, and Townsend, a wild swipe. Comes off the top edge, and it comes to nothing once more. Ellie Rea, see down the clock, and that is it. It is finished all level here in Amsterdam. 8 seconds for which to try and score. Sanders spins, and Sanders, good finish. And Rhea does well. We'll take shootout number 2 for the Dutch. De Waard moving her body lots. That's going to be a stroke, is it? And Heesh almost gets the ball, gets the right way into the circle, driving at the stick side. Howard went early, needs to get the shot away, and she's skewed it wide. Belton on the reverse stick, onto the roof for the nets. That's how you take them. Housley tries to sneak it in, and she runs out of time. Heesh needs to make a save here, or Van Geffen has to miss. And Heesh does make the save to keep this one alive. Oh, and she's run out of space here, and then she gets tripped. And there's no referral from Great Britain because they wasted it earlier on. And that is a rather disappointing way for the shootout to end. The Netherlands have won it 3-1.
A really impressive point there for the women's team against one of the powerhouses of world hockey, and 2 fine debuts from Sophie Hamilton and Fiona Crackles. From 2 players at the beginning of their career to 2 in their prime, as we now bring you an exclusive interview with George Pinner and Adam Dixon. We look back on the last 8 months and one of the most unique experiences of their careers so far, lockdown weddings, and also reflecting on personal milestones, with Adam recently playing his 100th game for Great Britain, and George in the near future set to make his 250th combined international appearance.
It was very, very surreal. We obviously had a trip to South Africa in the diary for like a warm weather, really hard week. You know, had been really framed by Danny that this was going to be a hard, week and a half training camp. And as a leadership group, it was only like a few days before the discussions started to come that this might not go ahead because of COVID. That happened, I think, on like a Thursday. We all played club hockey on Saturday, and I think it was almost by the Monday we were in lockdown. So stuff moved incredibly quickly, and again, once we were in lockdown and it became apparent this wasn't going to be something that was going to disappear overnight, it did become quite obvious that it was going to be a matter of when, not if, the Olympics got postponed. I think from my perspective, didn't really have much of an impact. Obviously, was working towards and looking forward to an Olympics, but actually was very quickly able to see the positive side of it. Danny's only been with us a relatively short period of time. That extra kind of 12 plus months of working with him, new goalkeeping coach Hiko, I kind of saw the benefits, if you like, very quickly, and whilst appreciating the wider picture of what was going on, for me it was something kind of took in my stride, and it wasn't too much of a negative, but obviously different for different players.
Yeah, I think it was across the whole squad. We had a real broad range of emotions and feelings once the Olympics were cancelled. People had plans for life after Tokyo, whether that was in or out of hockey, and you had to sort of reassess your options. But I think in some ways, like George has said, you have to look for the positives. It's another year for us to train, another year for Danny to shape and sculpt the squad in the direction that he wants to go. So yeah, it's basically getting a second crack at the whip, so to speak. We looked at debriefed the 12 months leading up to what would have been the Tokyo Olympics, and thought, right, what can we do better here and there? So I think we're going to be in a better position for it, trying to make the most out of a tricky situation.
We got really good at spending money, so that was a bit of a negative. The first few days we obviously started training. We were quite lucky we could take gym equipment home. Then when it kind of got cancelled, there was that need, and I think the programme was really good in kind of mental health basically came first. Keep yourself physically active. We're all active people, so that was always going to be the case, but find ways to keep sane. So yeah, we bought bikes. Did a lot of cycling, then the kind of novelty of that slightly wore off, bought paddle boards, various bits to get out and about and actually explore some of the local countryside. We're so busy with hockey You know, training all day, you get home in the evenings, you probably just want to sit on the sofa. Weekends with club hockey, you just don't get that downtime that a lot of other people do, and suddenly having, you know, 3 months of effectively spare time and a slower pace of life allowed us to get out and maybe appreciate the area we live in a lot more and do some of those things. So yeah, I think we kind of just took stock, enjoyed a slower pace of life, and yeah, it made the best of a bad situation, I've said, meaning that when the hockey did come back, we were fresh and excited for it.
Well, we thought that COVID had just sort of, you know, changed plans for many of us, and had already had quite a big effect. And we didn't want to, me and my now wife, we didn't want to let that affect us and our relationship and what we had planned for the future. So, yeah, we thought we'd just crack on. So we had a very small wedding with a few very unique guests, and George was one of the lucky ones to get the invite. We had a great day. George's speeches were cut short by a torrential downpour outdoors. That was one of my highlights. So he couldn't couldn't put too much dirt on me. But that was, yeah, certainly an amazing time, and yeah, really looking forward to seeing how the next, you know, 8 to 10 months as a married man are going to go. But I'm really happy. We're happy how hockey's going. Happy where the squad is, and just looking forward to the year ahead.
Yeah, it's not about milestones for me in terms of, you know, I think it's more when you get a bit older, I'm just kind of proud at how long I've kind of been able to keep going and being part of a programme. Like, you know, first got my first cap in kind of 2007, quite a long time ago now, and I do think to stay in an international programme for kind of that period of time and get, you know, the number of caps it is, shows kind of a diligence to the stuff people don't see, you know, the psych work, you know, the gym stuff to a degree, looking after yourself, because, you know, I've played with some very, very talented players who, you know, for one reason or another haven't hit those milestones. So I think I'm proud because it shows, it's something to show, if you like, for that commitment you've made, but it's not about personal milestones. You know, I would swap any kind of personal achievement for a medal at Olympic Games or something like that. So yes, nice, because it's, if you like, a recognition of the hard work, but it's not the reason I play for, that's for sure.
Yeah, I can't really beat that answer. That's spot on. For me, it's not about those milestones. It's about just giving my all every single game. If that happens to be a milestone and they coincide with each other, then brilliant. But it's certainly not. If I only make, you know, 99 games for whatever reason, it's not something I'll regret for the rest of my life. But at the same time, it could be the icing on the cake. So it's nice to recognise those moments when someone does reach those times in their career. But it's it's not the end.
So as they stated in that interview, George and Adam are indeed very close friends and have a fantastic connection on the pitch. But what's it like off it? It's time for a second look at how they got on with the Heads Up Challenge. Now, yesterday they scored 11 with George acting as the describer, but how will they fare when Adam took that role? Let's find out.
3, 2, 1. Okay, animal in its natural habitat is
wild.
Yep. Not Batman.
Woman?
The other one. No, the other superhero, famous superhero.
Spider-Man. Superman.
Yeah, Superman.
What does it sound like?
It's but like the toy that's like a
lion?
No, yeah. What is a Baloo in the Jungle Book?
He's a bear.
Yeah, so a toy, a cuddly little. Yeah. Okay, I'm writing with a
pen.
Yep. If I'm using a pen to do a puzzle, it could be a type of puzzle in the paper.
Crossword.
Yep. Green Disney character.
Shrek.
Yeah.
Not Disney.
Not Disney. But opposite of frown is a
smile.
Yeah. The boy who never grew up.
Peter Pan.
Yeah. Baby.
Piglet.
Piglets. Time's up. We did all right.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Too many ums.
Another very solid effort there from George and Adam, but they were just unable to beat yesterday's score of 11, managing 9 in total today. Now it's time for the second part of our exclusive Cuppa and a Natter with Emily Defrond and Nick Pink. Whereas yesterday they spent their time looking over the last 12 months, now it's time to look forwards as Nick discusses his plans for England and Great Britain hockey over the next year.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the second edition of this very special episode of Inside the Circle with myself, Emily Defrond, and our very special guest, the England Hockey Chief Executive, the man himself, Nick Pink. Nick, thank you very much for joining us again.
Not at all, thanks Emily.
All right, so in the first episode, for those that may not have seen it yet, we found out how Nick likes his tea, but we also looked back at the last 12 months, Nick's first year involved in England hockey, which was really interesting to hear. For this episode, we're going to be looking forwards. We're going to be looking ahead at what Nick has in store in his role as Chief Executive and what the future of hockey may look like. So without further ado, Nick, very simple. The first question, what is the main thing that you're looking forward to in the next 12 months?
That's a good question. The main thing, I'm hoping hockey returns firstly as quickly as it possibly can. So that will be the immediate thing, Emily. And I guess the big thing that's coming up in the next 12 months is the Olympic Games. And I really hope that we're able to be celebrating our sport in the way that we want to at the Olympic Games next July, August time in Tokyo. So if that was one thing, I'd kind of focus in on that specifically and look at the opportunity it provides us.
I mean, you're talking to the right person. I would agree that hopefully, fingers crossed, all being well, obviously the return of hockey is paramount for all of us within the hockey family, but obviously to look forward to the next Tokyo Olympic and Paralympic Games is just going to be huge, and huge for our sport in particular. Am I correct in thinking that one of your first memories involved in hockey was actually watching an Olympic Games? Is that correct?
Yeah, so 1988 would be probably very vivid in my memories. As a massive fan of sport at that stage, I remember the 1986 Football World Cup, and I remember the 1988 Seoul Olympics as if it was very much a kind of core part of my memory. So yeah, the sort of Sean Curley team, and I've been very lucky to meet many of the team in the last 12 months, albeit more virtually recently than face to face, Emily.
I mean, I bet that was pretty cool to look back on that and have
Yeah.
such.
It is, and the difference now, and I talk to quite a few people about this now, is that we've come to expect Olympic success, as a country, and I'm not just talking about hockey, obviously, but if you think about the tremendous success that Team GB has had in almost really since 2008 Beijing, where there was a step change in terms of performance and success, to 2012 to 2016, and fingers crossed for next year in 2020 or 2021. But, back then, 88, 92, 96, we were winning the odd medal here and there. So it is so vivid because it's that specific memory. And, what was I, 11, 12 years of age at that stage. And, I remember it so well because not only was it the Olympic men's team and obviously the GB men's team, but it was an Olympic medal at the Olympic Games for GB, which was significant at that time.
Yeah, I mean, I have exactly the same looking back at those successes when I was growing up and seeing, the GB women's and men's hockey squad doing so well at the Olympic Games. It's huge, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll try and do the job, both the men and the women, next summer for everyone. So fingers crossed for that. Another thing to look forward to, of course, is the return to FIH Pro League action on home soil. And obviously, speaking personally as a player, we cannot wait to have international hockey back on home soil next year. But for yourself as well, it will be the first games that you as CEO will experience on home soil. Are you looking forward to those events as well?
Yeah, very much so. And as I think we said yesterday, Emily, just so sad by the fact that we didn't get the games earlier this year in place. But no, very much so. We've gone on sale. We went on sale in the last sort of month, 6 weeks. we've had a really good response. It's the hockey family window specifically that we've gone out to, and it's been great to get the responses and to see the number of people that have been buying tickets in the last few weeks, which is great. We were supposed to be hosting Germany this coming weekend, and at this time, but for obvious reasons, that's not happened. So it's such a shame that the Germany games couldn't take place. But we'll factor those in, and we'll be speaking with the FIH and our friends and colleagues in Germany to make sure that it fits into the best window possible, and we'll work with those guys to make sure that's happened. But no, I'm immensely excited by it, and I'm really looking forward to Lee Valley hosting us again.
It's one of those, isn't it? I think for anyone that's actually involved in hockey, seeing Lee Valley or Twickenham Stoop last season, having a full stand of hockey fans and British hockey fans come out and support both men and women's squad. Do you feel a sense of pride as chief executive as much as I do as a player?
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree. Pride and responsibility. I think they're two things that immediately jump out at me in terms of that. So, and that responsibility runs to all people that are watching, consuming, as fans, as consumers, as regular hockey players, if you like, and those family members and the extension of that sort of hockey fan, if you like. But also to you as players, it's a responsibility we take as GB Hockey, England Hockey, in terms of the roles that we have, to make sure that we're as prepared as we possibly can be going into those games. And then hot on the heels, Emily, as you know, we're straight into the Europeans from the 4th to 13th of June, and then pretty much straight away into the Olympic Games. So, touch wood, and we're all kind of knocking on as much as we possibly can at the moment. We've got a tremendous summer of hockey if it works the way that we all hope it does, and COVID doesn't get in the way.
Absolutely, fingers crossed. I mean, for any hockey fan out there, I'm hoping that you've got a full few months of sitting on your sofa and watching hockey on your TV. So, I mean, we're all going to be winning, hopefully, fingers crossed, if everything goes ahead. But to change the shift of momentum a little bit, so you touched upon in yesterday's episode about the fantastic work that you've done over the last few months in terms of the projects moving forward within, England and Great Britain hockey, and you mentioned about the inclusion and diversity piece that you've been working hard on recently. Can you tell us all a little bit more about some of the projects that you've got going on and hopefully will work towards in the next say 12 months?
Yeah, so the big focus that we've placed operationally, if you like, as an organization is the importance, the relevance and the relationships to the members of England Hockey. And by members, we're talking about hockey clubs, and we're talking about members of hockey clubs. So organizationally, what can we do that makes that relationship stronger and better for the benefit of the sport? Not for the England Hockey PLC, but for the sport in totality. So we had our virtual AGM, Emily, a couple of months ago, which was tremendous. We had 270 people through GoToWebinar, kind of connecting on some of the issues that we were sort of sharing at that stage. And the biggest thing on that agenda was the resolution that was put to the membership about restructuring the sport and connecting the sport in a different way going forward. And that got a resounding yes from the membership. 86% supported it, which was tremendous. So in terms of sort of projects and in terms of sort of focus, that's going to be a fairly significant piece of work, because all being well, we'll be ready for September 2021. And even with some of the disruption of COVID, we've been managed to still push ahead and get ready. And what difference will that make to hockey? The great majority of hockey is played at a community level, as we know. What we're hoping is that it's going to reduce travel time. It's going to make a real difference in terms of the different bodies that all the different hockey clubs have to affiliate to. So quite often there's a different men's association to women's, to boys, to girls, different league rules, different league regulations in place, etc., etc. So what we're really hoping is all of that simplifies and makes it much better for the volunteers that run the sort of structure of the game at every single level to administer and to facilitate that. So that's going to be a significant piece of work that we're undertaking, and we're doing a lot of collaboration and cooperation around that over the next sort of 6, 7, 8 months. We're digitally looking at the relationship that exists between the individuals, the hockey clubs, and us, and making sure that's as streamlined and as efficient as it possibly can be. Will, who's on this call somewhere in the background, making sure that you and I are able to talk effectively. He and his team are working really well on a new website, which we'll see at a GB and an England level, which is going to be really important in terms of the look and the feel and the way that comes across. And we're not too far away from being ready on that front. And a number of other initiatives that are there. So commercial is a big one, Emily, in terms of Investec. We're a long-time partner and relationship of ours. Again, touch wood, I seem to be doing a lot of that at the moment, but we're not too far away from signing a new lead sponsor, which we're delighted about. And if we can bring a few more along, and we're not too far away on that front either, I think that pushes us really well going into kind of the new year and into the start of the next kind of 6 months.
I mean, it sounds like you've got a lot going on. So obviously the restructuring aspect, that's something very positive, and I'm sure that'll have a huge knock-on effect in terms of the participation at grassroots level. Also, I've heard very good things about the prospect of the new website, and of course commercially as well is hugely important. But if I had to kind of narrow it down in terms of your hopes for the next 12 months and beyond, and what the future of our sport looks like, what would you say that is?
So I it's a really good question. And invariably, when you're in a situation where you're hit by a global pandemic and you're hit by sort of other issues, you focus kind of immediately on what's in front of you. And I guess what we've been starting to think about is, what does the future hold for the sport? What does the future hold for the direction of travel for England GB hockey and hockey more broadly? I think we've got a really important and tremendous opportunity to start to continue the growth that we've seen for the last 10 years, Emily. And I think that growth, back to what we touched on around diversity and inclusion, starting to understand where that growth can really benefit different audiences and different groups and others that we can encourage into the sport, perhaps even for the first time, I think is going to be really important. And that might not mean massive growth. So we might not be talking about doubling and sort of growing from a base of 150, 160,000 people that are regularly playing club hockey. But maybe actually it's about growing new audiences and at maybe a smaller level in terms of the percentage number, but starts to engage a different type of person to the sport, which I think is incredibly exciting. And that's going to take probably harder work, because the traditional lines that you and I have spoken about in other meetings, that how we may have had the opportunity to get involved in the sport, or others have had the opportunity to get in the sport, may not be so there for others. So we've got to think a bit differently and act a bit differently and sort of cooperate a bit differently on those things. And that really excites me in terms of that direction of travel. I also think in terms of where we go as a sport, looking at the different sort of formats and potentially looking at, we've got the FIH have announced the sort of the hockey fives. We've got shorter formats coming into the sport. We see that all the time in coaching and sort of small-sided formats in game practice and other things, as I'm sure you experience with Mark and the team on a regular basis. But starting to see how that can benefit the sport going forward. I'm conscious of it at the global level, because for me it's 11-a-side, and it should always be 11-a-side in the context. But we can't forget that side of the game works really effectively, and we see what that means in rugby. We can see what it means in football, and we can see what it means in other sports. So how we connect to those issues and matters is going to be really interesting.
It's fascinating hearing your side of things, to be honest. And the main thing that kind of I picked up on there is obviously the growth of the sport, and actually, I probably speak very biased in terms of, I love the sport. I've played it since yay high. I think that hockey has so much to give, both people that are already involved in the sport, but also, those that may not have the same opportunity or access to the sport that others do, as you've touched upon. So in terms of the next 12 months and beyond, you've pointed to so many fantastic factors moving forwards that will hopefully make our sport bigger and better than ever before. And for me, that's something that, is music to my ears, and I'm sure many other people. So yeah, really interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Not at all.
No, really, really appreciate it. And as well, from yesterday's edition and today's, Nick Pink, it's been an absolute pleasure to join you for a cuppa and a natter. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. And for everyone else, thank you for joining us on this two-part edition of Inside the Circle. I hope you're all keeping safe and well, and thank you very much for your support for the wider hockey family, to both the women's and men's squads of what should have been our FIH Pro League games this weekend. But take care. Thank you very much, and see you all soon. Thank you, Nick.
Cheers, Emily. Take care. All the best.
As Nick identifies there is so much to look forward to, both on an international and grassroots perspective across England and Great Britain over the next year, and we cannot wait to see his plans come to fruition. Many, many thanks to Nick for joining us, and also to Emily for being such a fantastic host. The third series of Cuppa and Anatta is underway, so make sure every Monday and Thursday you are tuning into her channels as she interviews some of the best sportswomen in the country. Now it's time to have some more highlights, and here is how our men's team got on in their second match against Belgium in the FIH Hockey Pro League a fortnight ago.
And it is Great Britain in the white tops, blue shorts and socks that get us underway, taking the goal to our right-hand side, and Tom Boners has one possession back early on, and a chance here, and just running a little wide. Shipley cuts in field, still got more space to run into. Shipley moves it on to Goodfield, Goodfield on to Roper, and Calman wears it off Loic Van Doren, but that was lovely interchange from Great Britain. Goes to Roper, Roper goes low, that's a great pick from Van Doren. Here is Calman, another good save, and Salisbury keeps it alive. Two good saves from Belgium. That's a very forceful challenge from Van Obel. He made the decision. Waller, oh nice pass from Waller, great pick up. Wallace across the face of goal, no, into the keeper. And then a penalty corner as it's lifted by the defence. Goes to Taylor. Taylor picks up. Taylor, good save again. It's still with Taylor. Shifts it to Forsyth. Forsyth. Another penalty corner off Van Doren. With 5:34 remaining on the clock. Here is Taylor. Taylor hits the target, and the follow-up by Condon. And Great Britain have the lead. Van Doren makes the first save with the pad. The rebound fall to David Condon, and David Condon pounces to score and give Great Britain the lead.
Great Britain done really well here to absorb that pressure.
Well, they've still not found the danger zone yet, because the ball across has fallen to John Doman, and John Doman levels it up. Great Britain had done all the hard work by containing Belgium while they had a player off the park, and as soon as he came on, it's almost like they sort of relaxed a little bit. I don't want to say switched off, but relaxed. Roper on the right, Castle, Taylor on the left. It has gone to Taylor. Taylor picks up, Taylor flicks. It's there in front of goal. Nope. It's a Belgian free out.
Stick check, come on.
Stick check, was it? Yeah. Across it comes. Where's this one going to fall? It's going to fall to Van Obel. Van Obel on the reverse, takes a deflection. Pinner makes the save, but I think he's put it onto Martin's foot. Trying to give Belgium the lead inside the final minute of the first half. Hendricks scores! Straight through, goal on the post. And Belgium are in front. God, into the circle, great pick up that is from Cassines on the reverse set. Cassines gets a shot away, Pinner makes the double save. Another long corner, and this is a prolonged period of pressure now for Belgium. Great Britain ball, good pressure by GB. Shot comes in, and the shot by, the save, sorry, by Van Doren. Lovely skill from Gounard on the reverse stick. Van Obel, the far post. Pleneveau can't get enough on it, but that is how quickly Belgium can attack. Martin's ball forward. There's Callan, lovely skill from Callan. Across it comes, and there was Shipley at the back post, all unmarked, with the chance to equalise, and he couldn't get stick on ball. There is the final hooter, and it's more disappointment for Great Britain as Belgium take the victory by 2 goals.
In spite of the result, it was another impressive performance for the men's team, and one that certainly bodes well ahead of the next important 9 months in the lead up to Tokyo. Someone else looking forward to the games is Mark Hager, the head coach of the women's team, and we sat down with him to talk about how his plans for the Olympics have been affected, how Lego and documentaries helped him get through the first lockdown, and what his reflections are on his first 2 years at the helm.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about what ifs going into tournaments, Olympic Games, games on the weekend, the bus being late, all those sort of things, but no one predicted this whatsoever. So, yeah, it's one of those things that I think the group has adapted to pretty well. The downfall is obviously the lack of, I suppose, human contact over a long period of time, or being able to see your friends, your mates, being able to do your job that you love doing, which is our core business, is on the hockey field. And so, yeah, I've really missed that. Yeah, Michelle came over. She was here just before lockdown, and we had plans to travel Europe, get around, have a little bit of a look at, all our lives we probably haven't had that opportunity to come over here and do that. So lockdown obviously put a damper on that, unfortunately, and we ended up just basically going for long walks around the farm, around the Thames, getting to know each other again, because both of us have been in hockey so long. I've all been away, and we both played internationally, so to have that opportunity to go for walks and chat about our kids, grandkids, life, where we're going to end up, all those sort of things was it was good fun. Yeah, a little bit of Lego. Yeah, I started getting to that. I felt that I needed something different to keep me busy to 2 or 3 hours a day, and so just to be able to go and buy some 3,000, 4,000 Lego sets and to build those, just took my mind away, I suppose, from hockey and where we're at with life, and I really enjoyed it. And I actually liked starting something at nothing and building it. I feel a great sense of, I suppose, accomplishment when I get it right. I didn't always get it right, let me tell you. I get to the end of some of the cars I was building, and there's about 16 pieces still left over. So, but it's worth a try. Yeah, I got into, funny enough, a lot of the drug lord sort of shows in Spanish, funny enough, and enjoyed watching those. And also the tests with Justin Langer, the Australian cricket team. I really enjoyed being part of that inner sanctum. And Jose Marino, the Tottenham documentary recently, I really enjoyed watching and being part of that and listening to, I suppose, him talk to athletes, his halftime talks. As coaches, you question yourself, are you following the right protocols, the processes? Is the language that I use the same as someone like him? And it wasn't, but it was nice to hear him and reinforce, I suppose, to me and our coaching staff that they're dealing with a lot of the same issues we are, and there's not a lot of difference. Only they're obviously more professional than we are, but that was that. I really enjoyed listening to those and being allowed, I suppose, being part of it, even though we don't see all of it. Just being part of some of it was really good. I always say be me. You got to be you. And I think when I first got into coaching at international level, I wasn't. I tried to be someone else, and I didn't enjoy it. And then I just said to myself, look, be you. Yep. Not everyone's going to like how you coach or how you are, but you've got to be true to yourself and your values and I suppose what you want to see the team achieve. And I think I lost my way a little bit at times, but I really feel that I've really enjoyed my time here. I've learned a lot again, and I just probably felt that I needed to be true to me around how I coached, how my values, what I believed in, wanting success for the group and individuals as well. And I've probably grown through the different generations as well, you know, this how different generations like to be communicated to, and I think that's something that I've learned quite well over the last probably 3 or 4 years. Holly Pern-Webb's a great assistance to me as well, and you know, she keeps telling me, Mark, be you, you know, we've heard all these things about you but we haven't seen it yet, so you know, come out and be you. And I feel that she's really helped me become me again, and I've really enjoyed that, and I've really enjoyed Holly being open with me to help me get to there again, and yeah, it's been fun. My coaching style, I'm quite collaborative, so I like to allocate jobs to people, and I'm very trusting, and I trust that they will do their job because they're professionals at it, and I just sort of oversee it, and I might, you know, make a couple of comments, or we'll have a discussion about things. But yeah, I don't mind being challenged. I don't mind getting other people's opinions. Sometimes probably I then dwell on that rather than saying thanks for the decision, let's move on, this is what we're going to do. But yeah, I'm more for listening, and sometimes I'll listen, but I'll have an opinion at that stage. But I actually do go away and think about what people say, and that does, when I reflect on it over time, then I sometimes think, yeah, no, they're right. You know, I was a bit pig-headed there, or I got the wrong message across, and so I really, it may take me a day or a couple of days, but I do, yeah, really reflect on things.
A really honest and insightful interview from Mark there. He also mentioned the influence of Holly Pern-Webb, and now it's time to see how she and Susanna Townsend fared in the blindfolded penalty stroke challenge. Unfortunately, Holly couldn't take part herself due to injury, so Susanna took all her goes for her. They were set a benchmark of 4 out of 6 by the men's team yesterday, but could they beat that? Let's find out.
I can see the ball. Where's the ball?
Okay, put both hands on your stick. Okay, move your stick forward slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe bring your toe of your stick around a little bit there. Yeah, that's more.
Can I go?
Okay, now go straight. Yes, Tana.
Can I go keep this down?
Okay, closer to the ball. Keep going light. Okay, there. Go straight. Yes.
Nice. Where am I going?
Okay. Yeah, okay, keep walking straight. Keep going. Okay, stop. Okay, stick forward. Okay, now towards the goal slightly. Keep moving it forward.
Should I push it now?
No, because you're nowhere near the ball.
Am I not?
Forward a bit more.
Can't stay.
Forward a bit more. Okay, so now you're slightly off angle. So yeah, that's straight. Yeah. Yes.
Then
Stay there. Yeah, stay there.
When?
Yeah.
Same angle.
Yeah. Yes.
Nice. Holly.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Keep stepping. Yeah, go the right way. Yeah. Keep coming close to the ball. Take a half step forward.
That way.
Yeah. Okay. Now move your stick closer.
Thanks.
And now bring your toe round a little bit to you. So straighten up.
That.
Yeah. Keep a bit more. Okay. A bit more. Okay. Straight now. So now go straight.
Oh no! There's a miss.
Miles away.
Okay.
Okay. You want to go just straight. Yes.
Then.
Yes. Right in the corner.
Yeah, I meant that. Thank you. It's tough.
Probably won't be a flick take.
No. Do you think?
Some really impressive teamwork there from Holly and Susanna as they score 5 out of 6 to beat the boys. That's pretty much it from our second edition of Inside the Circle, and thank you very much once again for joining us. Hockey's in-house weekend is not over just yet though, so make sure you stay tuned on Twitter and Facebook to see some classic highlights of our favourite home encounters from recent years. We then finish off the day with a bit of a laugh as we look back at some of the moments that went slightly wrong for our athletes in 2019. Please keep uploading your photos to social media using the hashtag #ThePride and hashtag In-House Weekend, because we really want to see how you've been interacting with us over the last couple of days. Stay safe, stay well, and we hope it's really not too long before you, the Pride, get to cheer us on at Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre once again.